He loved her in the quiet moments, the ones no one paid attention to. In the pauses between her laughter. In the way her voice softened when she felt safe. He loved her without witnesses, without promises, without expectation. And that kind of love, the kind that stays silent for too long, almost destroyed them both. Ethan met Clara when she wasn't trying to be unforgettable. She was just being herself, talking too fast, smiling too easily, pretending the world hadn't already taken pieces of her she never quite got back. He noticed her immediately, not because she demanded attention, but because something about her felt delicate in a way she worked hard to hide. And from their very first conversation, Ethan listened, not to reply, not to impress, but to understand. Clara felt it too, even if she never named it. Around Ethan, she exhaled. She spoke freely. She shared things she usually kept locked away. Her fears, her disappointments, the nights she felt like she wasn't enough. Ethan never rushed her healing or tried to fix her. He simply stayed. And slowly, without either of them realizing when it happened, he became her safe place. People noticed. Friends would exchange knowing glances when Ethan remembered details Clara had forgotten she'd ever shared. They noticed how his mood shifted with hers, how he instinctively moved closer when she was overwhelmed, how she always searched for him in a room before fully relaxing. Some smiled quietly, some shook their heads, wondering how Clara hadn't seen it yet. No one said anything, not because they didn't know, but because it felt like a story that needed time to unfold on its own. Somewhere between late-night conversations and silent companionship, Ethan fell in love with her. Not the dramatic kind of love people boast about. Not the loud declarations or reckless confessions. It was the steady kind. The kind that shows up. The kind that stays. The kind that chooses someone every single day without ever asking to be chosen. There was a night Clara barely remembered, but Ethan carried it with him like a scar. She had called him long after midnight, her voice trembling, words barely holding together. He went to her without hesitation, sat beside her while she cried about how tired she was of being strong, how tired she was of pretending she was okay. He didn't interrupt or touch her. He just stayed. And when she finally fell asleep, he stayed longer, making sure she wasn't alone. That was the night he promised himself he would protect her at all costs, even from the truth of his own heart. Because what if telling her how he felt changed everything? What if loving her out loud pushed her away? Silence felt safer than regret, so he chose it. Again and again, Clara healed slowly. Life began opening up to her again. New opportunities, new confidence, new light in her eyes. People around them whispered less now, watching the way Ethan stepped back so she could grow. Some admired him for it. Some wished he would be braver. All of them believed the same thing. They belonged together. Then she met someone new. He was confident, certain, unafraid to claim her publicly. Ethan watched from the side as Clara laughed louder now, as she posted pictures with someone who loved her openly. Friends noticed Ethan's silence deepen, the way his smiles no longer reached his eyes. They wondered if this was how the story would end, with the right person arriving too late. When Clara announced her engagement, the room filled with applause. Ethan clapped the loudest. He congratulated her sincerely. He even helped plan the wedding when she asked, because loving her had never been about possession. It had always been about her happiness. When she hugged him and laughed, telling him he would always be her favorite person, that he was like family, like a brother, something inside him cracked quietly. Friends noticed. They said nothing, but their eyes followed him with sadness, because they knew, they had always known. Silence had become a prison Ethan no longer knew how to escape. The night before the wedding, he packed his bags. He left behind an apartment filled with memories Clara never knew were sacred. He left behind a life where he existed only on the edges of her happiness. He wrote a letter, not because he intended her to read it, but because some truths become unbearable when they remain unspoken forever. Clara found the letter by accident, and the moment she read it, her world tilted. I loved you when you didn't believe you were worth loving. I loved you when you were breaking and when you were becoming whole again. I stayed silent because I thought my love would complicate your life. But the truth is, loving you quietly broke me instead. Her hands shook. Her chest tightened. Suddenly, every memory replayed itself differently. Every late night, every sacrifice, every time people had smiled knowingly when they were together. Every moment she had leaned on him without realizing how much weight he carried for her. For the first time, she truly saw him, and the realization was terrifying. The man who loved her most was the one she never truly looked at. Panic replaced certainty. The future she thought she wanted suddenly felt foreign. She ran, not away from something, but toward the truth she could no longer ignore. She found Ethan at the train station, standing alone, a ticket in his hand. When he turned and saw her, there was no hope in his eyes, only surprise, as if love had taught him not to expect miracles. I loved you, he said quietly when she finally spoke his name. I just didn't know how to tell you without losing you. Tears streamed down Clara's face as she understood how close she had come to losing him forever. She realized then that everyone else had seen it before she did. That love had been standing in front of her the entire time, patient and silent. She asked him to stay, not with grand promises, not with certainty, but with truth. And when word spread that the wedding was called off, something unexpected happened. No anger, no shock, only quiet relief. Friends smiled. Family nodded knowingly. People who had watched them for years finally celebrated out loud what they had always believed in silence. When Clara and Ethan finally stood together, not as maybes, but as a choice, the joy felt earned. Real. Complete. Some love stories aren't loud enough to be noticed at first. Some hearts wait too long. Believing silence is safer than truth. But when love finally finds its voice, it doesn't just change two people. It brings relief to everyone who knew they were always meant to be. Because love that survives silence was never weak. It was just waiting to be seen.